All right, so we're going to continue going over some examples of using equations to solve for missing angles. Using vertical angles, supplementary angles, complementary angles, corresponding angles, all of those, okay? So in this case, it says three lines meet at a point. In a complete sentence, describe the angle relationship. Well, we know I'm not going to write a complete sentence right now. But let's look here at what we need to know. I think what's really going to help us, again, I'm going to start with looking at vertical angles, and if that doesn't help me, I'm going to go to angles on a line, right? That's the supplementary angles. That's where I'm going to go. So if I try to highlight and darken a line here, I want to kind of focus on these diagonal ones. Those create vertical angles. So this and this have to be the same. Vertical angles are congruent, okay? So this also has to be 19 degrees. So what that shows now, okay, and I'm going to show you a couple different ways you can think of it. You can look at this then and say, hey, this is a straight line right here. That means, which kind of covered up my right angle here, right? We have this little right angle box here, which that shows is this 90-degree angle plus z plus 19 has to equal 180 degrees because it's angles on a line. That was the term I couldn't remember in the last video. Straight line. So now we can simplify around my equal sign here, right? And add 19 plus 90 together to get 109 plus z equals 180. Solving for z, so get rid of the 109 by subtracting. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do the other. And I'm left with z equals 71. Set up and solve an equation to find the value of c. Done. Now, something else I kind of want to point out to you. Some of you, and I've noticed some of you doing this in your homework, you see this idea of this is 90, then that side has to be 90. It's true, right? 90 plus 90 is 180. So you might ignore all of this over here and say, you know what? This angle plus this angle has to equal 90 degrees. So we could say that z plus 19 equals 90 degrees. Now let's see if I solve this equation. Again, I'm solving for z. I have to get rid of the 19. It's plus 19, so I minus 19 to each side. That adds to 0, and I'm left with z equals, well, 90 minus 19 is also 71 degrees. So if you see that relationship, that complementary relationship, go with it. Totally works as well, right? Okay, so let's look at another example. Two lines meet at a point. Complete sentence, right? Okay, we already know I'm not going to do that. All right, set up and solve an equation to find the value of x, and then we need to find the measurements of AOB and BOC. So this can seem overwhelming. I get it, okay? So always try to look for vertical angles because then at least you can find out something, okay? So I am going to take my line here, okay? Now, you have to be careful. This isn't a straight line, okay? So we can't do that one. All right, but let's see what we can do. We can do this one here and this one here. All right, so what do we know about those? Okay, do they help us at all? Well, when I'm looking, vertical angles, these two over here have to equal these two over here. Well, what are these two? Well, that's 2x plus 3x. That has to equal, what's this one over here? Well, here's 90 plus 25. Vertical angle saving the day again, right? So when we simplify this, if I have 2x's plus 3x's, again, when we talk about simplifying, we do it along the equal sign. That's 5x's. And if I add 90 to 25, 90 to 25, that is 115. All right, well, 5 times x, we undo that by dividing. So I'm going to divide both sides by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1x equals 115 divided by 5 is 23. So let's make sure we're answering the question being asked. Find the value of x. Done. Now find the measurements of these two. Okay, well, one of them is 2x. So that means I'm going to go 2 times 23. Hello. And when we go 2 times 23, let me write this a little better here. Because x is 23. We get that one equals 46 degrees. Okay, so this right here is 46 degrees. Now, BOC is 3x. Well, that just means we go 3 times 23, because that's what x is, and we get 69 degrees. Okay, so again, vertical angles. Sometimes it's not just going to be one angle, but if you darken those like straight lines, you can see the angles that have to be equal to each other, because vertical angles are congruent. All right, this last example here, right? Okay, so we're going to set up and solve an equation to find the value of x, and then we want to find the measurement of AOB, and BOC. Well, look here. Look what we have here. Right angle. This is what we were practicing, right? So if we have two angles that make up this right angle, right? Remember, right angle is 90 degrees. So two angles that add to 90 that make up this 90-degree angle, that's complementary. So I can say that 5x plus this one here, 2x plus 20. Okay, again, write down more stuff. Don't try to keep it all in your head and do it in your head. You're actually working harder, okay? That has to equal 90 because these are complements. Simplify and solve. If I have 5x's and 2x's, that's 7x's, plus 20 equals 90. I'm solving for x. I'm going to solve for 7x. That means I have to get rid of the 20. It's plus 20, so I'm going to minus 20. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do the other. I have 7x equals 70. Now we're getting closer, solving for x here. 7 times x, so I undo that by dividing. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do the other, and I'm left with x equals 10. Set up and solve an equation to find the value of x. Done. But now we have to find the measure of angle AOB and the measure of angle BOC. Now again, just so you kind of get used to some notation, this little m here just means the measure of. So the measure of AOB is 5x. So we're going to go 5 times whatever x is, which is 50. So the measure of AOB is 50 degrees. BOC is 2x plus 20. So we're going to go 2 times 10 plus 20. And 2 times 10 is 20, plus 20 is 40. And hey, look at 50 plus 40 equals 90, which we knew. Okay? I will tell you, the more you work with the stuff, the easier it'll be. So if you're struggling right now, I just need you to like persevere through it. Okay? Darken those intersecting lines to see if you can do some vertical angles. And then keep in mind, we also have supplementary angles or complementary angles if vertical angles don't work.